So some of you might be familiar with the work of Chris Bledsoe. He is a contactee. He's had a lot of experience with different UFOs and different energies, and has received messages and information from that. And something that he's been speaking about is that over Easter there's going to be a planetary alignment over the Giza Plateau involving the Sphinx and the pyramids and the constellations of Orion, the star of Sirius, I'm not sure whether it's A or B, but one of the Sirius stars, and the Leo constellation. The last time that this alignment was said to have happened was 36,400 BC, so long way back, and it was supposed to be marking the time where gods walked amongst humans. Now, this really does actually fit with a lot of the Atlantean timelines at the points where maybe the fall was starting to occur. And so there were different beings from different star systems coming to help prevent the fall and this distortion in the field, or at least lessen its impact. Chris's perspective on this, from what I've listened to, seems to be this idea of the return of the gods, but more his take is more biblical, and that is in alignment with his experiences and how he's been raised. But I feel that this is going to be more of an instance of humanity being given the opportunity to align with divine consciousness. So to remember that we are divine beings, to remember that we are divinity embodied on this planet rather than divinity being externalized. And I went into a deep meditation on this. I have a lot of connection with the Sirius system. I work with that energy a lot, although it's Pleiadians that I directly voice channel. I receive a lot of my inner guidance messages and messages for the human collective from the Sirius constellation during meditation. So I went into the astral planes and met up with a galactic council in this Sirius system. And what they showed me was that during this alignment, the human planet, our reality as we experience it, is going to be given an opportunity to align with a system and a consciousness, or a dimension called Ankareth, which is in the Sirius system, although it echoes the breath field of Orion more than it does Sirius. So when I go to Ankareth through my light body, it has a different feeling to the rest of Sirius. It's more of a combination of different kinds of energies, different kinds of beings. It's like it's a gateway place for souls to choose to go into a higher frequency or to remain in a lower one. And there are sound and frequency chambers there. There is a Sphinx of Anubis there. And Anubis oversees the transition of souls from one dimension to another, that in Egyptian mythology, but also in his energetic being role from another star system. And so they were showing me that there is going to be this kind of like overlay of Ankareth with Earth at that point. And that means that is going to give a lot of souls the opportunity to step into that divine consciousness, or if they are still in a lot of fear in that kind of paradigm, it might be that they choose at that point to leave the body and come back in and reincarnate into a higher frequency. I know that can sound kind of scary. I don't think we're going to see a massive load of death, but I do think that it is going to be an opportunity that is going to be affected by the frequency of the collective, because the more fear that we have around any events that may be presented to us, or what's being presented from the matrix to keep us in fear, then the more likely we're going to experience a lower vibrational reality of a particular event. We want to experience a higher one. So those of you who are able to hold higher vibrations, whether you're grid workers, light workers, psychics, channelers, healers, if you can hold higher frequency energy, just be aware of that at this time, because it may be needed for you to become incredibly self-aware and make sure that you are holding that vibration. I did see in the astral planes that there will be an event at this time that will kind of invite us to step into that higher consciousness, or to go into a lower vibration, or remain in the one that we're in. And that event is something that is likely to be very confusing to our usual perspective on reality. So what I actually saw in the vision was the pyramids lifting off of the Giza plateau and floating in the air for a while. And that is something that's going to either scare the shit out of some people, or it's going to make you realize that reality is not the way that we have perceived it as being, that we are in a slightly illusory state here on Earth. Whether it's that specifically that happens, I don't know. It could be a representation just of some kind of event that is going to be transformative in our consciousness and our understanding of quantum physics and quantum reality. So if such an event does occur, then it is an opportunity for us to step into higher consciousness. Do not go into the contraction of fear because it's something that you can't explain. There's going to be a lot over the next 18 months that we're not going to be able to explain. This may just be the initiation point of that. So hold the vibration, hold your frequency. The more that can do that, then the fewer people are going to step into fear. And when we all collectively shift, we all collectively benefit, because it creates an expansive frequency. And the more people that engage with this expansive frequency, the more it reverberates back to all of us, the more resonance we feel, and therefore we are all collectively shifted. So if there's any aspect of you that feels that it's a bit us and them, or that you know something that they don't know, yes, that might be true in some aspects, but now is the time to let go of that, because essentially knowing something that somebody else doesn't know isn't going to benefit the whole collective. And lifting the frequency and holding that vibration, so that those that maybe find this a frightening experience, or just a new experience that they can't understand, so that they can shift into a higher state of consciousness and not be triggered into a fear response.